Welcome to Dancehall Spotlight, the channel where we dive into the captivating world of Jamaican dancehall music. In today's video, we shine a spotlight on the iconic Buju Banton, one of the most influential and celebrated artists in the genre. Join us as we take a journey through Buju Banton's life and career and explore the impact he has had on the dancehall landscape. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video and comment. Also turn your notification bell for more dancehall content. Mark Anthony Myrie, born the 15th of July 1973, professionally known by his stage name Buju Banton, is a Jamaican reggae dancehall musician. He is one of the most significant and well-regarded artists in Jamaican music. Banton has collaborated with many international artists, including those in the hip-hop, Latin and punk rock genres, as well as the sons of Bob Marley. Banton released a number of dancehall singles as early as 1987, but came to prominence in 1992 with two albums, Stamina Daddy and Mr. Mention, the latter becoming the best-selling album in Jamaican history upon its release. That year, he also broke the record for #1 singles in Jamaica, previously held by Bob Marley and the Wailers. He signed with the major label Mercury Records and released Voice of Jamaica in 1993. By the mid-1990s, Banton's music became more influenced by his Rastafari faith, as heard on the seminal albums Till Shiloh and Inner Heights. In 2009, he was arrested on drug-related charges in the United States, his first trial resulting in a hung jury. His 2010 album Before the Dawn won a Grammy Award for Best Reggae Album at the 53rd Annual Grammy Awards. In 2011, he was convicted on the aforementioned criminal charge and was imprisoned in the U.S. until December 2018, whereupon he was released and deported home to Jamaica. Buju Banton was born in Kingston, Jamaica, in an area known as Barbican Road, Kingston 8. Buju is a nickname given to him by his mother as a child. Banton is a Jamaican word that refers to someone who is a respected storyteller, and it was adopted by Myrie in tribute to the DJ Burro Banton, whom he admired as a child. Buju emulated Burro's rough vocals and forceful delivery, developing his own distinctive style. Jamaica and Tamarack, Florida, United States. He also has 17 children. As a youngster, Buju would often watch his favorite artists perform at outdoor shows and local dance halls in Denham Town. At the age of 12, he picked up the microphone for himself and began toasting under the moniker of Gargamel, working with the Sweet Love and Rambo Mango sound systems. In 1986, he was introduced to producer Robert French by fellow DJ Clement Irie, and his first single, The Ruler, was released not long afterward in 1987. This led to recording sessions with producers such as Patrick Roberts, Bunny Lee, Winston Riley, and Digital B. In 1991, Buju joined Donovan Germain's Penthouse Records label and began a fruitful partnership with producer Dave Kelly, who later launched his own Madhouse Records label. Buju is one of the most popular musicians in Jamaican history, having major chart success in 1992 with Bogle and Love Me Browning, both massive hits in Jamaica. Controversy erupted over Love Me Browning, which spoke of Banton's penchant for lighter-skinned black women. Me love my car, me love my bike, me love me money and ting, but most of all my love me Browning. Some cry, fee all black women, respect all the girls den with dark complexion. 1992 was an explosive year for Buju as he broke Bob Marley's record for the greatest #1 singles in a year. Buju's gruff voice dominated the Jamaican airwaves for the duration of the year. Banton's debut album, Mr. Mention, includes many of his greatest hits from that year, including Bonafide Love featuring Wayne Wonder, the singer who first brought Buju out as a guest star on the annual Jamaican stage show Sting. 1992 also saw the unsanctioned re-release of Boom Bye Bye, a controversial song recorded several years earlier in 1988, when the artist was 15 years old, which resulted in a backlash that threatened to destroy his career. Several years later, the song would later become the subject of outrage in the United States and Europe, leading to Banton being dropped from the lineup of the WOMAD Festival, as well as numerous other scheduled performances. Banton subsequently issued a public apology. Now on the major Mercury Polygram label, Banton released the hard-hitting Voice of Jamaica in 1993. The album included a number of conscious tracks, The These tracks included Deportees, a song which criticizes those Jamaicans who went abroad but never sent money home. Tribal War, a collaboration with Tony Rebel, Brian and Tony Gold, and Terry Ganzi, a sharp condemnation of political violence that interpolates Little Roy's classic reggae song of the same name. And Willie, Don't Be Silly, which promotes safe sex and the use of contraceptives, particularly the condom, profits from which were donated to a charity supporting children with AIDS. Banton was invited to meet Jamaican Prime Minister P.J. Patterson and won several awards that year. Some of Banton's lyrics dealt with violent themes, which he explained as reflecting the images that young Jamaicans were presented with by the news media. The reality of Kingston's violence was brought home in 1993 by the murders in separate incidents of 3 of his friends and fellow recording artists, the DJs Panhead and Dirtsman and singer Mickey Simpson. His response was The Single Murderer, which condemned gun violence, going against the flow of the prevailing lyrical content in dancehall. The song inspired several clubs to stop playing songs with the excessively violent subject matter. Late in 1994, Buju was also affected by the death of his friend Garnett Silk. Buju's transformation continued as he embraced the Rastafari movement and began growing dreadlocks. His performances and musical releases took on a more spiritual tone. Banton toured Europe and Japan, playing sold-out shows. Till Shiloh, 1995, was a very influential album, incorporating live instrumentation as well as digital rhythms, and incorporating the sounds of roots reggae along with the harder-edged dancehall sounds that first made Banton famous. The artist was embracing his Rastafari faith, and his new album reflected these beliefs. Till Shiloh successfully blended conscious lyrics with a hard-hitting dancehall vibe. The album included earlier singles such as Murderer along with Wanna Be Loved and Untold Stories. In 1996, Buju contributed Wanna Be Loved, Desea Ser Amada, along with Los Pericos to the Red Hot organization's album Silencio = Muerte, Red Hot plus Latin for the Red Hot Benefit Series. This series raises money to increase AIDS awareness. That same year, Buju Banton took control of his business by establishing his own Gargamel music label, releasing the popular single Love Sponge on vinyl in Jamaica and overseas. In years to come, Gargamel would expand into an outlet for Buju's own productions. Inna Heights 1997 substantially increased Banton's international audience as Buju explored his singing ability and recorded a number of roots-tinged tracks, including the hugely popular Destiny and Hills and Valleys. The album also included collaborations with artists such as Beres Hammond and the legendary Toots Hibbert. The album was well received by fans at the time, and critics praised Buju's soaring vocals. The album has aged well and remains a highly regarded work over 20 years after its release. In 1998, Buju met the punk band Rancid and recorded 3 tracks. Buju signed with Anti Records, a subsidiary of Brett Gurewitz's Epitaph Records, and released Unchained Spirit in 2000. The album showcased diverse musical styles and featured guest appearances by Luciano, Morgan Heritage, Stephen Marley, and Rancid. It carried little of the roots influence with the inclusion of rapper Fat Joe. 2006 saw the release of The Too Bad, an album that was more dancehall-oriented in style. One of the slower tracks from the album, Driver A, went on to become a major hit, while at the same time reviving Sly and Robbie's Taxi Rhythm. Banton performed at the 2007 Cricket World Cup opening ceremony with Third World and Beres Hammond. The album Rasta Got Soul was released in 2009, produced by Banton, with contributions from longtime collaborators Donovan Germain, Stephen Marsden, and Wyclef Jean. Rasta Got Soul was a 100% roots reggae album recorded over a 7-year period before its release. It went on to earn Banton his 4th Grammy nomination for Best Reggae Album in 2010. Mugshot of Banton taken shortly after his arrest. In December 2009, Drug Enforcement Administration agents remanded Banton to custody in Miami, where the U.S. Attorney charged him with conspiracy to distribute and possession of more than 5 kilograms of cocaine. Banton was then moved to the Pinellas County Jail, where he remained until trial. A 6-day trial in Tampa, Florida was declared a mistrial on the 27th of September 2010, after the jury was unable to reach a unanimous decision. During the trial, audio recordings were presented of Banton and a drug dealer turned government informant end discussing drugs, drug prices, and smuggling. Banton was also seen on a video recording meeting the informant in a police-controlled warehouse tasting cocaine from a kilogram bag. The informant was reportedly paid $50,000 for his work on the case. The singer was released that November on bond. He was allowed to perform one concert between trials, which was held on the 16th of January 2011 to a sold-out crowd in Miami. A few weeks after the performance, he was nominated for the Grammy Award for Best Reggae Album, but was not allowed to attend the ceremony. 2010 S. On the 13th of February 2011, one day before the scheduled start of his second court trial in Tampa, Florida, Buju Banton's Before the Dawn album was announced as the winner of Best Reggae Album at the 53rd Annual Grammy Awards. On the 22nd of February 2011, Banton was found guilty of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute 5 or more kilograms of cocaine, possession of a firearm in furtherance of a drug trafficking offense, and using communication wires to facilitate a drug trafficking offense. He was found not guilty on the charge of attempted possession of 5 kilograms or more of cocaine. 4 months later, he was sentenced to 10 years and 1 month in a federal prison for the cocaine trafficking conviction. His sentencing on a related firearms conviction, despite the fact that Banton was never found with a gun, was scheduled for the 30th of October 2012, and then postponed on his lawyer's request for an investigation of possible juror misconduct. Despite the fact that a juror was found guilty of misconduct, Buju Banton waived his right to an appeal. On the 14th of May 2015, federal prosecutors agreed to drop the firearms charge. Banton was released on the 7th of December 2018 from McRae Correctional Institution. Upon his release from prison in the United States in December 2018, Banton started the Long Walk to Freedom tour and performed his first concert at National Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica in March 2019. The concert attracted over 30,000 people. During his tour, he continued putting out new music and new singles, including Bag of Mouth, False Pretense, and Country for Sale. In May